Welcome everyone to the Liberty Intelligence Organization Network. We are a news recap show that's going to be going over some of the most important information that you people really ought to know about. So I want to start this one off because it is important information that you people ought to know about, and that is Barack Obama has won the election. I thought this was going to happen. I didn't put it in any of the segments of the initial broadcast because, again, we're not targeting individual global puppets. We're targeting the infrastructure that is manipulating them. They are puppets, and we're going after the puppet masters, the New World Order's chief executives, corporate interests, pharmaceutical interests. You know, these large corporations who, if you really follow the money trails, all lead back to a small group of people that are pulling the strings of all of this. And they're manipulating our minds and our bodies and everything on every level. It is really outrageous. And the crazy part is it's all going public now because they think that they've won. And they might have. Again, Barack Obama has won. I didn't endorse either candidate. I didn't vote for either candidate. I actually did go and cast a vote on local issues. And also I casted a vote for Gary Johnson. I was planning to do that for a long time now, and I've actually tried to be endorsing him through at my workplace and for my friends, because I think electing a third-party candidate of really any affiliation, you know, we just have to break away from the establishment. We as the people have to say no more to this continued similar thing. And again, the Republican and Democratic parties are two heads of the same snake, and that snake's going to go in the same direction no matter what side the heads try to pull it. Again, they may steer it towards certain directions, but liberty is there is no snake. Liberty is freedom. It's the same thing. So, again, the election's over, thank God. I was tired of hearing about it. I was tired of having to hear people buy into the rhetoric and saying, you know, if you actually look at what these guys have done, they're both pretty much the same. But people are like, no, he says he's going to do this. Oh, he says he's going to do that. And people buy into all this back and forth fighting. But again, it's two, you know, the snake heads are just snapping at each other while the people watch on and they're like, oh, that's not the same snake. They're snapping at each other. And then people look away and it's like, all right, let's go. And they go again, back on their little adventure to lead us to absolute control. And eventually the snake is going to consume us. And then what the snake doesn't realize is after it's consumed us, it's not going to have any food left, and it's going to consume itself. And that's basically what's going to happen if we don't stand together now. So again, I want to get into the building of the police state, and that's what we're covering, because we're covering the New World Order. We're not covering the political puppets that they control. But basically, they built NSA data centers, which again, the National Security Agency for a long time denied being a real agency until I think the mid-90s, because I remember it might have been like 1998 or 1999 even. Again, I'll have to go back and look into all that. Again, I was trained as a historian, and during my history courses we mainly studied history, you know, not recent times. So again, I'm not well adept in the recent historical literature on the 90s. I've read some stuff, but nothing about this in particular, the National Security Agency. But I do have these articles, and I have been well adepted in them. But basically, what I found out about them was The Enemy of the State, the movie, with Will Smith in it. And the NSA, I think when the movie came out, denied its existence. In that movie, they act like it doesn't exist. Which leads me to believe when it was made, it didn't exist. But what later came out is it has existed for a long time. And basically, they're collecting information on really everything. Every individual person on the face of the planet. And the recent technology allows them to do that much better. So they've built these data centers to store all this information. And again, they know everything about almost everybody. On a side note, J. Edgar Hoover, who was the leader of the FBI for a long time, he held a lot of clout in this country as a non-elected public servant. Again, they would claim they're public officials, but they're public servants. They're supposed to serve the public interest, and they're not doing that, despite what they tell people. You know, they may say that what they're doing is going to help us, but if they're not being honest with us, you know, if it was really something good, you'd think they'd be able to tell us up front. but they make up all these lies and all these scams and national security. You're not allowed to look, to know. And again, this is a national security agency. So we weren't allowed to know about them for a long time. But basically, I'm just going to read you guys the headlines real quick. This first one is out of the Washington Times, which is mainstream media. Again, we mostly cover alternative news, but this is mainstream news covering it. And it is NSA Chief Defense Agency against domestic spying charges. And what I like is a quote in this one that the chief of the NSA says. He says, "We don't store data on U.S. citizens. That's baloney, and then that's ludicrous." And then he goes on to say, "However, I'm not going to come out and say what we are doing. That would be ludicrous too." So again, he says it's ludicrous to say they're spying on the U.S. citizens, but then he says what we're doing is ludicrous. Wink, wink. He didn't wink, wink, but I'm wink, winking. He's saying that it's ludicrous that anyone would do that, but what we're doing is ludicrous. Again, it's Twilight Zone, Bizzaro world, crazy. That's a form of doublespeak. And again, go watch 1984 or go read the book 1984, and you'll know what that is. I'm not going to explain it now. I really should, but it takes a long time to, and I'm probably running out of time, and I want to get through the National Security Agency data centers, which is what this segment's going to be about. Again, I've linked to these articles in earlier segments, I think. I'm ahead with the links, I'm behind with the videos. Again, that's just because there's so much information, it's hard to cover it all, but I really want to explain what the New World Order is, and to do that you have to understand the stuff. So again, the next headline here is out of RT.com, and I think they have a video in this one. It's NSA Utah Data Center, biggest ever domestic spying rollout. Again, that's probably the hub in the United States of America, right there in Utah. And the final one is NSA whistleblower says the feds are gathering data on nearly every U.S. citizen. And this one is out of Business Insider. And basically someone that worked in the NSA came out and said, yeah, we are collecting data on the NSA, even though in the first article I presented, the chief said that would be ludicrous. But again, he also said what we're doing is ludicrous. Again, Twilight Zone, Bizzaro world. So I think that's going to be it for the broadcast here, this little segment. Again, it's about the election and how it really doesn't matter. Again, if you're an Obama or Romney supporter, I don't mean to offend you, but you better check yourself before you wreck yourself, as I think Tupac would say. Again, they got rid of him, and hopefully in future broadcasts I'll be able to explain the music industry's involvement in all this. Again, I don't hate the music industry. I enjoy a lot of the music industry. I listen to a lot of music. Again, I like most of the stuff I have to portray as bad here, but again, it's not bad. What's bad is the people that are controlling it and using it to do bad things. So again, this is going to be the end of the segment. This has been Liberty Intelligence Organization Network. I want to thank everyone for joining in. Stay safe, stay strong, stay free, stay alive, stay informed. Thanks again for joining.